Hello and welcome to A Course in Miracles lesson number 6. Lesson number 6, I am upset because I see something that is not there. The exercises with this idea are very similar to the preceding ones. Again, it is necessary to name both the form of upset, fear, anger, depression, worry, and so on, and the perceived source very specifically for any application of the idea. For example, I am angry at blank because I see something that is not there. I am worried about blank because I see something that is not there. Today's idea is useful for application to anything that seems to upset you and can profitably be used throughout the day for that purpose. However, the 3 or 4 practice periods which are required should be preceded by a minute or so of mind searching as before, and the application of the idea to each upsetting thought uncovered in the search. Again, if you resist applying the idea to some upsetting thoughts more than to others, remind yourself of the 2 cautions stated in the previous lesson. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind, and I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then, I will regard them all as the same. And this brings to mind for me the fact that before my spiritual awakening and before I really dedicated myself to peace and to presence and to truth, that I was seeing my life through the filter of my sad little identity. The depressed me, the anxious me, the hypercritical me, the having to figure it out me, this identity and all of its stories and patterns and its reasons for being upset and all of this stuff was obscuring my vision. So I am upset because I see something that is not there. It both literally, the ego mind literally does obscure the way you experience and perceive the world around you. I didn't actually really see a tree, not really, until I actually surrendered to peace and to letting go of thinking so much and to letting go of that identity that was blocking my joy. So I was walking around with this big giant filter, and you think the filter is just it's just like, it's not just applying to your relationships and it's not just applying to your emotions. It's applying to the way that you experience the world at large, the way that you see trees and nature and the sky and stars and the way that you experience the physical sensations in your body, breath, movement, dance, whether you do or don't dance. So it's not just about being upset. This carries into what this lesson and what the course is really speaking to truly is that coming home to the truth and putting the number one priority, top priority of love being the number one and only thing that you want or need in your life. And when we give ourselves completely and wholly to the peace, the love, the truth, the joy, when we just commit ourselves truly to that way of living, we begin to see things clearly. Until we do that, and when we're starting out, this is why the Course in Miracles is so good, because when we're starting out and we get a lesson like, I am upset because I see something that is not there. This is the Course sitting us down and saying, look, what this lesson's pointing to is, look, you're not seeing things clearly. And you're upset because you're seeing things that are not there. What does that point to? I'm not seeing things clearly. So there's no need to work at fighting on seeing things clearly. We don't have to fight with ourselves. We don't have to struggle with this. We actually only need to simply observe, like Jesus is telling us here. It's just but a moment. You take a moment to search your mind for all those things that you're telling yourself that you're upset about for the certain reason. We just take a moment to observe it, notice it, and be willing to entertain, just willing to entertain it. You don't necessarily even need to believe it. That's what the workbook was started with. You don't need to believe everything, just entertain it. Just open your mind a crack. Is it possible that you're only upset because you see something that is not there? Is it possible? For instance, you're driving in traffic. I know the traffic is a cliche one, but it's easy because all of us are going to be confronted with other drivers on the road who maybe aren't the greatest drivers, who maybe swerve into your lane, almost hit your car or whatever. Creates sensations in the body. And then it does create upset, right? Okay. Now, some people, I've talked about this before, but some people would take that as an opportunity and an excuse to talk about that event all damn day and say, you won't believe what happened 2 hours ago. Yada, 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 yada. Some idiot on the road, yada, 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 yada. Now, in a very real way, in that moment, after it's been 2 hours since someone cut you off, you are not upset right now for the reasons that you think, and you are upset because you're seeing something that is not there in a very practical way. But in that moment, in traffic, when someone cuts you off, you feel fear. Oh my God. And then you're raging, upset. I feel upset because I see something that is not there. How does that apply in that moment? Well, right now in this month, somebody swerved into your lane, you almost got in an accident, you're a little upset, you got some emotions happening, somatics, shake it off. If you're still upset because you're seeing something that is not there, you've held on to it in your mind's eye. Also, you're painting, how many of us are guilty? Raise your hand. You painted a big, huge story onto this person. This person's an idiot. This person doesn't care. This person's reckless. This person, XYZ, fill in the blank. Look at their bumper sticker. You look at their bumper sticker. Oh, of course, they got a political bumper sticker. It's the opposite side of the political aisle, so on and so on and so on. You're seeing things that are not there. If we just leave it alone and we don't get down in the mud with the ego, all that's happened is a car swerved in front of us. It created some somatic sensations in the body. Cool. We can shake it off, move on with our lives, and get back to equilibrium in like 2.5 seconds. Okay. That's just one example, but I know that there are deeper examples that go a little bit more complicated than that one that I just gave. However, all of them, like the Course in Miracles says, they're all miracles. There's no degree of difficulty in miracles. Like miracles are miracles are miracles. And the miracle is what I just said, bringing yourself to the truth and the peace of the present moment, just letting go of the illusions that the ego would have you cling to that would keep you stuck in misery. So I am upset because I see something that is not there. If you look around you in the room, I'm going to end it here, but if you look around you in the room that you're in, you are safe. No matter where you are, if you're watching this, if you're able to watch this, you're safe. You're protected. You're nourished, most likely. You have resources available if you're not any of those things. You've got a phone or a device to watch things on, so on and so forth. Pretty much, we're cruising. 99% of this population, we're sufficient. And I mean, our basic needs are mostly met, right? So I am not upset for the reasons that I think. I am upset because I see something that is not there. Meaning, if you look around, you're fine. If you look around, it's all good. And it can actually be that simple. Okay. The Course in Miracles is long, but that's because we have a lot of undoing in the mind. But you'll notice that there's a simplicity to the actual truth of the Course in Miracles. What it's pointing us to, very simple. So I am upset because I'm seeing something that is not there. Is it possible that you're maybe seeing something that is not there, henceforth doing some unnecessary suffering, right? So let's drop this idea into our mind and let it drop down into your heart. I am upset because I see something that is not there, and let it flower. If you're not upset at the reading of this lesson, this is just one last caveat to leave you with. You might encounter this lesson and say, I'm not upset. I feel fine today. If there are, like we do in the exercise, search your mind for places that you are maybe holding on to a little bit of upset. If you don't have any of those, congratulations, but you might want to keep this in your back pocket. But there's a really good chance if you're a human being with an ego, it'll give you something. So just sit with what in your mind is where's your stash, as Bob Aram calls it. There's like a little junk drawer in your mind where it's like, okay, I'm upset because XYZ happened 20 years ago, or I didn't ever XYZ, or whatever, wherever your stash is, pull your stash out and get that out. If you're having any difficulty coming up with upsets, okay, I am upset because I see something that is not there. Enjoy the lesson. I'll see you in lesson 7.